If you run ads on Meta, then for sure you've heard about the importance of creative diversification, how Andromeda needs that variety so that it can optimize your ads, you can get the best results. But what does that mean? What I see most people doing is they're diversifying the format. They're, using different images and videos and carousel and maybe some different headlines, but the variety is still the same message. And if you're only rotating format, you're missing the biggest multiplier. The biggest multiplier is message. So what I want to talk to you about is how you can leverage both of those and get true diversification and start getting results. And here's the thing, most people aren't doing this. So it's definitely a competitive advantage for you in your market, because I guarantee you people are not doing this. And then I want to show you how you can leverage AI and the newest tools that have just come out literally days ago that you can combine to quickly publish your ads, put them out there, and iterate around this messaging and format to figure out what works best so you can scale quickly. I'm Bryan Bowman. I'm the founder of FoundRev.com, and we've been helping direct-to-consumer brands scale since 2015. And one of the biggest mistakes, if not the biggest mistake I see brands making right now with their Meta ads is not doing true diversification. So again, you can have your format and have different types of ads and images and videos, and there's only so many ways that you can show your product in an image, right? Different backgrounds, different colors, and different scenes, different lifestyle photos. And that's all important because you want to create variety, and the algorithm does reward that, and it allows it to show it to more people and figure out what is resonating with people. But the biggest lever that you're missing to actually create true diversification and quickly multiply it is messaging. Because if you think about it like this, if you have let's just say round numbers, 5 different types of format, and you have only one message or kind of a slight variation on one message, you really only have 5 different types of ads. Now, you might pretty them up and make them all look different, but at the end of the day, it's only 5 different types of ads. But if you take 5 formats and multiply it by 5 truly different messaging that is differentiated in 5 different ways, I'm going to talk about this. When you multiply these two, now you have 25 truly unique, differentiated angles in your ad. And that's when you start leveraging the power of the algorithm and the AI learning. So what I want to talk about is these 5 levels of awareness, which are what are going to differentiate the messaging, truly differentiate it, not just kind of put it in a different wrapper. And this concept has been used for literally over 60 years. So this is a blending of timeless fundamental principles of marketing with the newest technology that we have and combining them together and getting the most powerful, impact and effect that you can. So this concept of levels of awareness comes from Eugene Schwartz, and this is a book that he wrote 60 years ago, and the principles are still timeless and they still work. And most people, they kind of have heard of this, they just don't know what the source of it is. So if you've heard of this idea, it came from this guy right here. And what he talks about is 5 levels of awareness. I'm going to walk through each one. I'm going to walk through them carefully, give you examples, because if you can absorb this concept, you don't have to memorize it. This is the beauty of the LLMs and of AI, and I'm going to show you exactly how to leverage this using your favorite LLM. I'm going to push you towards one. I'm going to encourage you to use one for a very specific reason because of a new tool that just came out days ago that is going to make all of this much easier for you, and you're going to have yet another competitive advantage because you're going to be leveraging technology that I guarantee you 95% of your competitors are not. First of all, because it just came out and no one knows about it. And second of all, because no one actually knows how to use this stuff. Use it other than, getting some answers in a glorified Google, which is not bad. Listen, it's a glorified Google was amazing when it came out. A really impressive Google is still very good, but I want you to be able to use it in a much bigger capacity, because if you do, you truly will have a massive competitive advantage. So what is this idea of the 5 levels of awareness? So you have to imagine that your prospect is living somewhere in one of 5 different buckets, okay? And they must be in one of them. So they are either on one, and it's a spectrum. I know you've probably seen like a conversion funnel. This is not a funnel necessarily, even though it could be applied and overlaid. But it's a spectrum from one end to the other. So on one far end, we could say on the far left end, you have an unaware prospect. And I will get there eventually, but let's start actually on the other end, on the far right end, which is the most aware prospect, the most aware potential customer. And the most aware customer is somebody who already knows your brand. They've already used your product. They already know what it is. They know if it works or not. They know if they like it or not. And it is the easiest type of marketing to do, the easiest type of messaging, but it's very important messaging, and most people are not capitalizing on that. Most brands are not capitalizing on that. I think if I'm going to guess, I think it's because it almost feels a little bit lazy. In fact, Eugene Schwartz says it is the laziest type of marketing. It takes the least amount of effort, and copywriters who are paid to write most aware ads should get paid the absolute least. I mean, this is his words. And I think because of that, people are like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the least amount, right? But it has its purpose. So I'll give you examples for these in a second, but I want to work through the spectrum first. So you start with most aware. Then you have what's called product aware. This is somebody who knows what your product is. If you sell perfume, they know what perfume is. They know what the options are for them. They might even know some of their favorites. They just don't know that your product, your perfume is the one that they want. And the way that you speak to them, Eugene Schwartz says there is a psychological barrier. There's like a wall between them, and it's absolutely true. You've experienced this. And I'll show you an example in a second here. If someone speaks to you in an ad in most aware language, if you are product aware, you will scroll right past it. You won't even pay attention. If they send you an email with most aware language and you're product aware, you won't even click it. Okay? So there is a wall between these. Then the next on this spectrum, the next is your problem or solution aware people. So solution aware is they know there are different things that will help them solve the issue, the problem that they have, or the concern or the aspiration they want. Okay? They will have different solutions in mind. They just don't know that perfume, in this case, is the one that they need. There's a lot of different examples or solutions for them. They just haven't been convinced that that's the one they need. The next, if we go down the spectrum towards unaware, the next is problem aware. They don't know what solutions exist yet. They just know that they have a problem. They are aware of their problem, and they just need a solution, right? And once they find a solution, then they need to pick a product. Once they pick a product, they need to pick yours. And then at the far end is unaware. This is somebody who doesn't even know they have a problem. They are sometimes blissfully unaware, sometimes they're miserably unaware. And your job is to make them aware of the problem, provide the solution, introduce the product, sell them on yours being the best. So let's look at a real example. I think the theory is there, right? It conceptually makes sense. You have unaware prospects, they're problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. Fine. What does that mean? And how do you apply it? So let's use a perfume example, because we actually just went through this with one of our clients. We went through we have a whole process with how we create the ads and how we launch them, how we segment out the messaging, how we do the creatives to match the messaging. And so it's fresh in my mind, so I'll walk you through it. So let's imagine it's perfume. And let's go to where most marketers are focused, which is the problem aware and solution aware. So problem aware for perfume could be that a woman, let's say, doesn't feel sensual. She doesn't feel confident. And that's the problem. That's all she has. It's just like she just doesn't feel like she wants to feel more empowered, or she wants to feel sexier, or there's something she wants to feel. And she doesn't know what the solution is. She just has the problem. So the way that we would speak to her is going to talk about the problem and guide to what the solutions could be. We're not going to talk about perfume. She's not aware that perfume is even a solution. So the message to the problem-aware prospect is the problem. Robert Collier would say we have to interrupt the conversation happening in the prospect's mind. They're thinking about it. They're uncomfortable in their skin. They walk into a room and they don't feel the way they want to feel. That's what's in their mind. So now if an ad says, ever walk into a room and not feel as confident as you want to feel? Yes, that's me, right? So now hopefully this is starting to make sense, where if you talk about perfume, the person who's in this bucket of problem aware, they're going to scroll right past it. Like perfume doesn't apply to me. They're just not thinking about perfume. So that's problem aware. The next phase is solution aware. So solution aware, they understand that they have a problem, but they know there's lots of solutions. They could maybe get a new wardrobe. They could get new shoes. Like I get a new pair of, I like my white Air Force Ones. I got a new pair of Air Force Ones. They're nice, crisp, white. I feel confident, right? A new cologne makes me feel confident. So a new perfume might be an option. Maybe in this case, it's a new makeup. Maybe think about all the different things that are selling all of us, not just perfume, but all the things that are selling us the solution to our wanting, our feeling of not being adequate, not being enough, having to, feel more confident, right? There's all kinds of solutions. But how do I know that perfume is the one? So now we have to dial into perfume, let's say, and how a perfume creates a memory, and how memory reminds us of a confident time, or that there's something about walking in and feeling there's something about a scent that can make our stand a little bit taller, whatever it might be. The point is, they know all of the solutions. We have to point at why perfume is the solution. The next is going to be product aware. At this point, they understand the perfumes. They just want to know why yours is the best. And this is where you would start leaning on testimonials, understanding the process for how it's made, understanding why it's differentiated. You're a small brand, you're a big brand. What are your unique value propositions? Again, you start talking unique value propositions, what differentiates you from all of the perfumes, to somebody who isn't even, let's go to the far extreme, which we will in a second, because the unaware is the kind of the most fun. It's the hardest, but it's the most fun, because if you unlock it, the market's massive. But someone who's unaware of a problem, you're telling them about how you do small batch perfumes that are finely crafted. They're not even thinking about perfume, right? It's the farthest thing from their mind. And then the most aware prospect is somebody who already knows you. They just need to know that there's a 10% off sale for Mother's Day this weekend. That's all they need to know. Okay, cool, I'll go buy. And that's why it's the laziest form of marketing, because it really doesn't take, or of copywriting, it doesn't take that much effort. But it's still necessary, because those ads can convert like crazy, especially you think to like a retargeting audience, people who are on your email list, who are following you on social, who have added to cart, right? That messaging converts like crazy. There just aren't a lot of people there. And it's a huge point that a lot of brands are missing. Right now, you could go create some ads, run a retargeting ad, and just say an offer that you have, and that's it. You don't have to go into brand and UVP, unique value propositions and the problem. Just say that you have an offer, and you will get conversions, because it's like low-hanging fruit that a lot of brands aren't capitalizing on. So we go from most aware to product aware, solution aware, problem aware, and then we have unaware. So what's unaware? Unaware is somebody who has no idea. They don't even realize they have a problem. But one of the most unique angles for unaware to attack is they don't even realize that could be them. Here's what I mean. An unaware could be something like, do you know that woman that walks in the room and nobody forgets when she leaves? Do you know that person who walks in the room and all the eyes go on them? You know that person who walks in the room and says everything, takes up the room without saying a word, right? We all know that person. It's like, oh man, well, that could be you. What? That could be me. See, I was unaware. I thought I just was who I was. And then now we can talk about how scent and perfume, it can make us feel confident, right? Because we feel bigger than ourselves, however you want to message it, right? But now they're like, oh my gosh, all it takes is perfume. And this might sound like, oh, come on, this won't work. Have you seen commercials lately? Watch a car commercial. Watch a luxury car commercial. All they're trying to do is show you through marketing in one way or another how you too can have status and be confident and walk into a room and everyone stops and looks at you, right? That's marketing. But we have to go wide. We have to go across the spectrum. We have to hit every single angle. And this is where the creative diversification comes in. We have 5 different formats across 5 different awareness levels. Well, now we have 25 unique angles. And this is one example. We could have We could have 5 awareness levels that go 5 deep with 10 creative. And now you can see how the multiplication now starts to get massive. And this is how you have tons of ads that you can put out that are truly differentiated. It's true creative diversification. So the most important thing is to get this going and to start putting the ads out there. Because once you do, you're going to start to get a signal in all of that noise. And it's interesting, not to totally go off on a tangent, but the reason our logo is this, our icon here, this is all the noise. And the green and the scaling, it's finding the signal in all of the noise. I used to be an actuary, and one of the things we're always looking for is predictors. So as actuaries, we have to look at a bunch of data and figure out what data point is important and what is noise, right? And as we're trying to mitigate risk. And finding the signal in the noise is the most important thing, because if you find signal, then you just do signal. Everything else doesn't matter. So if you put out 200-300 true variations, and I hope now you can see how it's not that hard. I'm going to show you how to use AI to do this quickly and powerfully. True diversification. Now you've got, at first you have a lot of noise. There's noise everywhere, but then you're going to start to see, you'll start to see the signal in all of that noise, and then you just go signal only. You stop doing the noise, and then you realize, man, when we do a product aware with this creative and an unaware with this image and a most aware with this carousel, that's where we start making money. And now you just create tons of variations on those lanes. And that's all signal. And then you just double down on that, okay? So how do you use AI to do this? Well, it's actually pretty simple. So I'm gonna recommend you use Claude. Everyone's got their favorite LLM. I think none of the other ones matter, to be honest with you. Once you start using Claude and Claude Code and you really understand it, it's a huge game changer. If you want to know more about how we're using Claude Code, and how we're using AI to get results for our clients and how you can use it, or you can do all this stuff yourself, let me know in the comments, and I would love to create more content for you around this, because I feel a sense of duty, responsibility to share this, because I've seen the power of it. I think that the world is going to shift dramatically in the next 3 to 5 years, but it's not. I am now seeing it as I use these tools 10, 12, 14 hours a day with not just one use case, but across multiple clients in multiple capacities. I am now seeing where this technology is going, at least in its current iteration. I don't know if there's some huge leap in technology and what happens, but LLMs, what they are today and where they could possibly go because of their limitations, it's going to create massive opportunity. I am 100% not a doomer on this. I think that the opportunity is massive, but it's only for those who use it. Those who don't will 100% get left behind. There's just no way. When I look at the productivity we have on our team, we're truly able to do in our, we're a relatively small team, but we do really powerful work. We can do the work of a 50, 60 person team with a tenth of that. So I would love to create more content about that if that's something that'd be interesting. So how do you do this? I'm going to recommend you use Claude. Here's the thing. LLMs have already been trained. They've already been trained on this whole book. So you could try to get this book right now. You probably find it for $200-300, like a used copy online. It's hard to find. Well, it's not hard to find. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. And you could read it. People still do read books. I think you could read it. You can internalize the concepts. It's not an easy read. It's a true marketing textbook. It is a seminal work that still is used to this day. You could get the PDF if you want, upload that into your favorite LLM. You really don't have to. Claude, OpenAI, any of them, they understand Eugene Schwartz and levels of awareness. But I would recommend you use Claude. I think it's truly the best, especially for this, because this is going to involve copywriting and angles. And we just talked about messaging in terms of kind of the levels. But you got to remember, even your ad creative, it's not just the copy, it's the copy, the headline, the creative, the video, what are you saying, who are you speaking to? That is all different types of variations of creative, and it's going to be very easy for you to pump this out once you have this framework with AI. So I would recommend you use Claude. You're going to tell it what your product. Now, if you want to go another level, you could connect your Shopify MCP. I don't have obviously the time to show you how to do that here. It's very easy to do. You go to connectors, connect Shopify, you'll have an auth and OAuth, you'll authorize your store, boom, you're in, and now you can communicate like natural language with your Shopify store. So like, what are my best-selling products in the last 30 days? And it'll pull and show it all to you. And a lot of other stats that you need. What's good about it, the MCP is, the Shopify one is it can pull all your products, right? So you could just say, what are my best-selling products the last 90 days? Pop, it'll pull them all. Okay, cool. Well, let's write some ad creative for number 1 and number 2 sellers. All right, let's run ads for two different. Cool. So then you would connect the Meta MCP, which just released, I think like a week or 2 ago, and it's pretty powerful because what it'll allow you to do is you could pull all your campaign data. It's Meta approved, so you actually get it from, you connect it with Facebook, through their MCP, and you won't have an issue. You can download your data and you can actually push creative into your, you can actually push ads to, they won't publish, they'll be paused because it needs like human review, but you can push them into your ad account from Claude. So you have Claude, you connect the Shopify MCP, you then have the Meta MCP, pull your Shopify products, right? It's just type it out. No coding needed, you're just communicating with it. It will pull it, it'll show it with you, it'll share it with you, and then from there, you would say, all right, let's run some ads for the top 2 products. Cool. Give me, using Eugene Schwartz, levels of awareness, give me 5 options for each level of awareness for this product. Give me the body copy and give me headlines, 40 character max, to choose from. So now you have a lot of options. Then you can start picking which ones you want to publish. If you want to go even deeper, then you could get a script written and give me 5 hooks. So you know you're going to do the ad, right, with the product, but you need 5 hooks to start the ad with. Let's say if you're going to do face to camera. Okay, well, give me the hooks at each awareness level, because those first 3 seconds, that's what's going to connect with the awareness level or make them scroll. And then again, you've got tons of true creative diversification to load into Meta very quickly through the MCP. It'll push it in. You just say, all right, cool, publish them. And then you've got them loaded in. You can QA, check them to make sure they're okay, and then publish them. And now you start putting the noise out there. And over time, you're going to start to see the signal, because guess what? We can pull the data from Meta and say, okay, which ones are working? Cool, it's these, all right. Well, now let's iterate on that. Let's do more of those because we want to do more of the signal. So the main thing is get in there. It sounds complicated. It's not. Just start applying this stuff. And if you would like to know more about this, again, I truly am asking, if you want to know more about how to use these tools, these AI tools, how to leverage them in your business, just let me know below. I read all the comments, and if there's a need for it, I would love to publish it and would love to share it with you so you can start applying it in your business. But at the very least, start using this concept, and it's not just in your Meta ads. It's in the emails you send. It's in the copy you write on your site. It's in how you write EPs, your product detail pages. It's everywhere. People are at different levels of awareness, and you need to speak to them where they are. But you don't know exactly where each person is, so you then have to cast a wide net and cover all the bases. And that's how you bring people in from all the different angles. So go ahead, apply it. And if you would like to know more about what we do at FoundRev.com, then you can check out all the info in the description. And other than that, go apply this stuff, because it doesn't really matter if you don't apply it. So have a great day.